Welcome to this Tuesday's topic on detoxification, the role of detoxification in health and disease. I am Ashley Anderson, registered dietitian and personal trainer, and owner of Move Fully Nourished, where we specialize in nutrition and exercise coaching using an integrative approach to really help active adults achieve optimal health, healing the mind, body, and spirit. Our integrative approach is designed to empower you as well as transform your lifestyle and relationship with food forever. So let's first discuss the term toxin. A toxin is something that can cause harm to the body. More specifically, a toxin or toxic substance is a chemical or a mixture that may injure or present an unreasonable risk of injury to the health of an exposed organism. So each toxic substance has a defined toxic dose or toxic concentration at which it produces its toxic effect. So things in our environment called exogenous toxins are present in the air, drinking water, our food supply, and can be things such as heavy metals, pesticides, drugs, industrial materials, and exposure to environmental toxins has been associated with many types of serious diseases, such as cancers, neurodegenerative disorders, as well as other health ailments characterized by fatigue, muscle weakness, and cognitive dysfunction. Besides exogenous toxins, our body also produces toxins called endogenous toxins. And as a part of just daily functioning, another term often associated with internal toxin generation is called free radical formation. And, to be clear about it, the topic that I'm going to be discussing today is really primarily focusing on the toxins that impact our bodies from the external environment. Now, to link back to our topic of detoxification, one of the most important processes that your body does for you that you don't have to actively think about is removing toxins and waste. It's also called the biotransformation process, but I'm just going to refer to it today as detoxification system, easier for people to understand. And this system is comprised of phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 pathways. This system is extremely reliant on nutrient support for optimal functioning, meaning that what you eat matters, not just for your overall health, but to remove waste and for all of these phases to properly function. So why is this so important? Why am I talking about detoxification? Because there is a strong association between our toxic exposure and the development of chronic conditions. Things like chronic fatigue syndrome, so also known as CFS, multiple chemical sensitivities, MCS, fibromyalgia, atherosclerosis, also symptoms including debilitating fatigue, muscle pain, joint pain, sleep dysregulation, memory issues, cognitive dysfunction. These are all common amongst these syndromes. So how do we get exposed to these toxins? Where do they come from? They're in our air, they're in our food supply, in our drinking water, and products that we use on our skin and in our hair. So epidemiology studies have identified associations between symptoms of Parkinson's disease and prolonged exposure to pesticides through farming or drinking well water. How close people live to industrial plants also plays a role, and things like printing plants or quarries or chronic occupational exposure to manganese, copper, or a combination of lead and iron. So it is each person's own unique ability to excrete or get rid of these toxins that has been associated with the development of the diseases I mentioned before. So here are a few other clinical symptoms and conditions that are often associated with environmental toxicity. Abnormal pregnancy outcomes, atherosclerosis, broad mood swings, cancer, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic immune system depression, so less recovery, less time in healing, contact dermatitis, fertility problems, fibromyalgia, headaches, history of increasing sensitivity to exogenous exposures, odors, or medications, joint pain, kidney dysfunction, learning disorders, memory loss, mineral imbalances, particularly in zinc and calcium because they interact for binding, multiple chemical sensitivities, muscle pain and weaknesses, non-responsive or reoccurrent yeast infections, it's a big one, panic attacks, Parkinson's disease I've mentioned multiple times, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, unusual responses to medication. So clearly, this is not a light topic. So let's kind of discuss where you may find yourself interacting with these toxins, and then we'll discuss how to protect yourself and your family. So first, could be from industrial chemicals and combustion pollutants. This is one of the largest categories of toxicants. Virtually everyone is exposed to halogenated hydrocarbons, such as polychlorinated bisphenols, as PCBs, at some level during an average day. The second one is pesticides. Many of our industrial chemicals are developed for their toxic effect on certain organisms, and then they're sold as pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides. Most of our pesticides are in some way toxic to humans. The third is endocrine disruptors. This is becoming more common terminology. Endocrine disruptors includes phthalates found in plastics, cleaners, soaps, beauty products like makeup, shampoo, conditioner, PCBs, bisphenol A, I've heard that BPA, some pesticides, synthetic steroids in meats, and DDT. It is public knowledge that there have been problems with sterility and malformation of sex organs in many animal species that have been linked to the presence of these contaminants and in the environment. The fourth one is toxic metals. So like things like lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, and other toxic metals often have delayed effects because they accumulate in our body, especially in our fat cells and also in our bones. So for example, lead can be sequestered in the bones, replacing calcium, where it has a half-life of 62 years. So lead toxicity includes DNA damage, depressed immune system function, anemia, hypertension, kidney disease, increased tooth decay, just to name a few. The fifth one is food sensitivities and preservatives and drugs. So the greatest toxin exposure by far, though, is through the oral intake of foods, drugs, and water containing toxic substances that can be absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract, so the GI tract. And this is why this topic is so important to us at Move Fully Nourished, because this, is where we help our clients take action on reducing their toxic burden. The majority of toxic substances are fat soluble, so they can sequester in tissues and remain there for many years and can continue to accumulate, so that the body tissues are exposed to much higher doses than the environmental concentrations would suggest that are, present. But in order to remove these toxins from your body, the body has a complex integrated system designed to convert fat-soluble toxins to water-soluble molecules, which then can be excreted out of the body through the renal or biliary routes. And this system is called the detoxification or biotransformation system, which, as I mentioned earlier, includes those three phases. Phase 1, phase 2, and those are the metabolites that really do the enzymatic functions, and then phase 3 transports them. So enzymes are predominantly expressed in the liver, the GI tract, your lungs, your kidneys, and although most cells have some detoxification capacity, these reactions really work together to remove toxins. So as a simple summary, detoxification occurs primarily in the liver, but also throughout the GI tract, the kidneys, the lungs, and the brain. So nutrient support is vital. It's really vital for optimal functioning of detoxification. And the reason is that these pathways and the three phases requires a lot of ATP. What's ATP? Adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy used in all of our cells in the body. To create this energy requires healthy, nutrient-supported mitochondria within our cells of our body. Unfortunately, many toxins can inhibit mitochondrial function, which can then lead to a decreased detoxification. So what are some of the ways that we can help our clients, or that we help support our clients, support their natural detoxification processes? First, we eliminate their exposure. We get rid of plastic water bottles, products in the home like cleaners and beauty products that wreak havoc on the body. and discuss responsibly sourced food products. We also discuss nutrients that support mitochondrial function, which include components that help our bodies produce more energy, foods that really contain a variety of nutrients like thiamine and riboflavin and niacin and pantothenic acid and magnesium. Also nutrients that help protect the body from oxidative stress, such as vitamin C and E, zinc, selenium, and copper. These are all beneficial. We also discuss it with our clients, the importance of digestion, excretion, and the toxins in our diet. Gastric emptying, also known as food moving through the stomach, and then intestinal transit, or movement through the small and large intestines, and then bile secretion. So these are all a part of the healthy digestion and can have a profound effect on the detoxification process. So toxins are conjugated in the intestinal tract, and during first pass metabolism in the liver are primarily excreted by bile, which then requires healthy fecal production. Dietary fiber supports healthy excretion. So this is a very important part of removing toxins and has been shown to bind toxins directly and then therefore facilitating their removal before significant absorption occurs. So we also encourage our clients to get a variety of fibrous foods in their diets for this reason. Also, an important thing to note is that human urine can range in pH levels from a 4.6, which is more acidic, to an 8.0, which is more alkaline, which also affects the elimination of toxins from the body. So for example, urine alkalinization increases the urine elimination of certain herbicides, so the more basic. And in the event that you've got acute poisoning or overdose of these toxins, alkalinization of the urine and the pH greater than 7.5 is a method used to enhance the elimination in medical settings. So there have been studies that have shown that alkaline minerals commonly found in fruits and vegetables increase urinary pH. So again, yet another reason why eating fruits and vegetables is an important part of a healthy diet. It's also extremely important to get adequate water intake for your body's needs, and because it's an essential part of maintaining a healthy kidney function and promoting urinary excretion of toxins. So we at Move Fully Nourished, we talk about this all the time. We're always telling our clients about the importance of hydration, water intake with our one-on-one clients, and oftentimes we find that the majority of people are just not getting enough for their bodies to function optimally, and really let alone excrete toxins. So it's a big deal. And overall nutrition really influences the detoxification process in many other ways that I've already mentioned before. We already discussed nutrition's role in supporting energy production within our cells and the mitochondria, as well as the generation of new enzymes, which is how proteins are produced. But it's also really important to really take in an adequate amount of complex whole food, non-processed carbohydrates, energy supportive fats, and high quality protein. So these are macronutrients to really provide protective mechanism against toxic damage. And something to note though is that poor quality fats can be very problematic. So many people consume way too many unhealthy fats. Fats like hydrogenated oils, trans fats, plant-based oils rich in omega-6. And individuals exposed to toxins may not really efficiently or effectively absorb those nutrients through the intestinal tract if they are also experiencing altered intestinal permeability. Intestinal permeability is just when particles of food slip through the lining of the intestines without getting properly broken down or excreted. They go into the bloodstream and can cause digestive issues like bloating, diarrhea, constipation, abdominal cramping, gas, really among many other symptoms. So it's very important to get in good quality sources of fats, like monounsaturated fats coming from avocados, or omega-3 rich sources of fats coming from wild salmon, medium chain triglycerides coming from coconut. Also, let's talk a little bit about phytonutrients. We could have a whole hour-long conversation about phytonutrients alone, but let's just keep our discussion simple here. So the word phytonutrients can be broken down by its roots. So phyto, meaning color, and nutrients, meaning nutritious value. Phytonutrients support the detoxification process through really a multiple different mechanisms, but many phytonutrients also act as antioxidants, and they bind to the reactive sites, also ROS, which stands for reactive oxygenated species, which put simply is part of the stress that our bodies deal with on a regular basis. So in short, phytonutrients act as antioxidants to help reduce inflammation in our bodies during the detoxification process. This is one of the reasons for the association between diets high in fruits and vegetables, again, another plug, and reduced susceptibility to many of the health concerns and diseases that we discussed earlier. I also mentioned earlier that there's a strong importance for fiber. So dietary fiber really supports intestinal mucosal cell barriers and improves beneficial colonic microbiota and bowel movements, which all decrease the toxic burden on the body and provide the first line of defense against toxins. So fiber promotes removal of those conjugated toxins that are excreted via bile and may decrease the absorption of some toxins. So fibers have been shown to directly bind, thereby helping remove potentially damaging toxins. So a great thing to include into our diet. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the quality of proteins next. So protein that provides methionine and cysteine in highly absorbable forms is beneficial for the phase 2 of detoxification. Food sources of methionine include responsibly sourced meat, fish, and dairy products, as well as nuts and grains. Good sources of cysteine include, again, responsibly sourced chicken, turkey, duck, and pork, and yogurt, cheese, eggs, sunflower seeds, legumes, and oats. When I say responsibly sourced, I'm talking about pasture-raised, wild-caught, grass-fed. A high-quality protein may also benefit those with toxic mercury burdens, since mercury exposure is associated with the depletion of specific amino acids. Other nutrients that are beneficial for detoxification are vitamin B12, folate, choline as well. Additionally, there are food sources that we'll talk about too, like the benefits of green tea for the process of detoxification. Green tea contains catechins, which is a class of flavonoids. They're found in high concentrations of green tea extract, and they can help assist the body in phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification. So green tea catechins also have been shown to promote healthy intestinal microbiota, so good bacteria in the gut, and pH to support healthy bowel functions. So qualities that further, again, the support of detoxification. Another compound that's found in cruciferous vegetables called glucosinolates. And when we chomp, chew, or cut into these plants, it actually helps to produce antioxidants that help, again, during phase 2 of detoxification. So vegetables like broccoli, bok choy, arugula, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, collard greens, kale, kohlrabi, radish, mustard greens, turnips, and rutabagas are all a great addition to your diet. So let's kind of recap. Optimizing your body's ability to manage and excrete toxins is essential for optimal health. Decreasing your exposure to these toxins is extremely important. However, minimizing toxin exposure is only one part of a successful strategy to decrease your susceptibility to toxic-related conditions that we discussed earlier. And a very targeted nutrition approach that really provides the full spectrum of antioxidants with a plant-rich diet, support for excretion and proper elimination from the body. This can come in the form of probiotics, getting rid of harmful chemicals and products laden with phthalates found in plastics and cleaners and soaps and beauty products like makeup and shampoo and conditioner that we talked about, as well as helpful beverages like green tea to assist in the phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification will all help to promote health throughout your life. This conversation today is really the simplified version of what it takes to individualize the detoxification protocols that may be best for you as an individual. And at Move Fully Nourished, we can use testing to assess your baseline in order to conclude what method of detoxification is going to be best for you to reach optimal health, really for the long term. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation today and on the role of detoxification in health and disease. If you are interested in learning more about how we can help our clients achieve optimal health, healing the mind, body, and spirit using an integrative approach to transform your relationship and lifestyle with food forever, then head over to movefully-nourished.com and click on Apply Now to fill out our short coaching application to learn more. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.